Welcome to Lento English. Ready to level up your English? Here we learn through stories, slow, clear, and fun. Listen, relax, and enjoy the journey.
One introduction. Every year, people around the world make a lot of trash. It is a very big problem. We make more than 2 billion tons of trash each year. This is a huge amount. It is like filling many swimming pools with trash. Where does all this trash come from? It comes from different places. A lot of it comes from our homes. We throw away things we do not need anymore, like old food, paper, and broken items. Trash also comes from places like shops and offices. Factories and other businesses make trash too. Some trash is special, like old computers or things from hospitals. When we collect all this trash, we need to put it somewhere or do something with it. There are a few main ways to get rid of trash. One way is to put it in a landfill. A landfill is a big hole in the ground where trash is buried. Another way is to burn the trash. This is called incineration. Sometimes trash is just left in open places, but this is bad for the environment and people. Putting trash in landfills needs a lot of space. Burning trash can help make it smaller, but it can also cause air problems if not done correctly. As the world makes more and more trash, it is hard to find enough space for landfills or good ways to burn it all. We need better ideas to manage our trash problem. In this story, we will look at one place that has found smart ways to handle its trash. This place is Singapore. Singapore is a small country and many people live there. It does not have a lot of land. Because of this, Singapore needed to find new and good ways to manage its waste. Its story can teach us important lessons about dealing with trash in a world that is making more and more of it. 2. A small island's big trash problem. Singapore is a very small country. It is an island. Many people live there. It has one of the highest numbers of people living in a small area in the world. This means Singapore does not have much land. Land is very important and needed for many things. In the past, the amount of trash in Singapore started to grow a lot. Between the year 1970 and the year 2016, the amount of trash grew 7 times bigger. This happened because more people came to live there and the economy grew. More people and more businesses meant more trash every day. How to deal with all this trash was a big problem. One common way to get rid of trash is to put it in landfills. A landfill is a large area of land where trash is buried. But for Singapore, using landfills was not a good long-term answer. Because the country is so small, there is not enough land for many landfills. Landfills take up a lot of space that Singapore needs for houses, roads, and other important buildings. Putting trash in landfills was not sustainable for this small island. It was clear that Singapore needed a different way to manage its growing amount of trash. They had to find a solution that did not use so much land and could handle the large amount of trash produced by many people living in a small space. Finding a better way to deal with trash became very important for the future of the island. 3. Making power from trash. Let's visit one of Singapore's buildings where they deal with trash. It is a special place that can make power from waste. Singapore has 4 such places. Many trucks come here every day bringing trash from homes and businesses. About 600 trucks arrive at one large plant, for example. They unload the trash into a big area called a bunker. Inside the building, large machines called cranes move the trash. The cranes grab the waste and put it into a very hot oven called an incinerator. The trash burns inside this oven at a very high heat, around 850 to 1000 degrees Celsius. This hot fire is very important. When the trash burns, it becomes much, much smaller. The amount of trash is reduced by about 90%. Imagine a big pile of trash becoming a very small pile of ash. This helps Singapore a lot because it is a small country and does not have much land for putting trash. Making the trash smaller means they need less space later. But burning the trash does more than just make it smaller. The heat from the fire is used to make energy. There are pipes with water near the hot oven. The heat turns the water into steam. This steam is very hot and has a lot of power. The powerful steam then turns big machines called turbines. These turbines are connected to generators which make electricity. The electricity created here is used for two things. Some of the power is used to run the plant itself. The rest of the electricity is sent out to the country's main power system. This system sends electricity to buildings and homes all over Singapore. The four plants together make about 2 to 3% of the country's electricity. So burning trash helps manage waste and also provides some of the power that people use every day. 4. An island for ashes. After waste is burned at the plants, there is a lot of ash left. There is also some waste that cannot be burned at all. Singapore needs a safe place to put this ash and other waste. Because Singapore is a small country, finding space for waste is hard. So they built a special place far from the main land. This place is called Semakau Landfill. It is Singapore's only landfill and it is built offshore out in the sea. How was this island landfill made? It was a big project. Workers joined two small islands together. The islands were called Pulau Semakau and Pulau Sekung. They built a very long wall around these two islands. This wall is made of strong rocks. It goes around the area for about 4 miles. This rock wall created a large space of sea water inside it. This space is where the ash and waste are put. The total area of the landfill is very large, about 350 hectares. Every day, boats play a very important role. A large boat, called a barge, travels from the main land to Semakau landfill. It comes from a place called the Tuas Marine Transfer Station. The journey is quite long, about 33 kilometers across the water. This barge carries a lot of waste. It brings more than 2,000 tons of ash and non-burnable waste every day. When the boat arrives at Semakau, the waste needs to be moved from the boat into the landfill area. Big machines are used for this work. There is a machine called an excavator with a very long arm. This long arm can reach far to pick up the ash and waste from the barge. Then it drops the waste into large trucks. These trucks are like the ones you see on roads, but they are used inside the landfill. The trucks then drive the ash and waste to different parts inside the walled area. These parts are called cells. The ash is put into these specific cells. Keeping the environment clean is very important, especially the seawater around the landfill. To stop any dirty water or liquids from the waste from getting out into the clean sea, there is a special protection system. The inside of the rock wall and the bottom of the landfill area have a strong, waterproof lining. This lining is made of a special material. On top of this, there is also a layer of natural clay. This double layer acts as a barrier. It stops any harmful substances from the waste from leaking into the sea outside the landfill. If water collects inside the landfill, for example from rain, it is cleaned at a water treatment plant before it is let out into the sea. When you visit Semakau landfill, you might be surprised. It is not just a place for trash. Around the edges, you can see nature is doing well. There are healthy green mangrove trees growing along the coast. In the sea nearby, there are beautiful corals with fish swimming around them. The healthy nature shows that the way the landfill is managed is good. It is not causing problems for the environment around it. It is amazing to see nature and a landfill existing together in a healthy way. This offshore island landfill is a key part of Singapore's plan to manage its waste. It provides a safe place for the final remains of the waste after burning. However, this space is not endless. 5. Running out of space. Singapore built Semakau landfill as a smart way to manage its trash. This landfill is special because it is built on an island far from the main part of the country. It is Singapore's only place to put solid waste that cannot be burned, and also the ash left after burning trash at the waste-to-energy plants. For many years, this system has helped Singapore deal with its large amount of waste. Ships carry the waste carefully, and the landfill is designed to protect the sea around it. Even nature, like plants and sea life, is doing well near the landfill. However, Singapore is now facing a very big challenge with Semakau. The landfill is slowly filling up with ash and waste. Experts have calculated how much space is left and how quickly it is being used. Based on this, they expect Semakau landfill to be completely full by the year 2035. The year 2035 is not very far away. It means that in just over 10 years, Singapore might not have any more space to put its trash. This situation is creating a strong sense of urgency for the country. Singapore is a very small island nation. Land is extremely valuable and needed for homes, businesses, parks, and other important things. Building another large landfill is very difficult because there is simply not enough space on the main island. Singapore also remembers the lessons from its older landfills. Before Semakau, the country used landfills on the main island. When those landfills became full, they caused problems. Making the land safe again after years of holding trash was a long and difficult process. It took many years and a lot of money and resources to clean them up. This valuable land was used for trash for a long time before it could be used for anything else. Because of these past experiences and the lack of space, Singapore knows it must find ways to make Semakau landfill last as long as possible. They need to send much less waste there. Every effort to reduce, reuse, and recycle helps to save precious space in the landfill. Singapore understands that landfills are not a permanent answer to the trash problem. They are just a way to manage waste for a limited time. The date 2035 is a clear goal. Singapore must work hard now to reduce its waste. This big challenge needs new ideas and the help of everyone in the country. They must find better solutions before they completely run out of space on their special island landfill. 6. New ideas for old trash. Singapore needs new ideas for its trash problem. The landfill will be full soon. So the country has a big plan. It is called the Zero Waste Master Plan. This plan is for the whole country. The main goal is to reduce the amount of trash that goes to the landfill. Singapore wants to send 30% less trash to the landfill by the year 2030. To do this, Singapore is looking for new ways to use old trash. They are trying to turn waste into something useful. One new idea is called new sand. This is a new material. It is made from the ash that is left after trash is burned in the waste-to-energy plants. Remember, burning trash makes it much smaller, about 90% less volume. The ash that remains is usually sent to the landfill. But now, scientists and engineers are finding ways to use this ash. They take the ash and process it. They turn it into new sand. This new sand looks like sand. It is strong and safe to use. What can they do with new sand? They can use it to build things. For example, new sand can be used to make footpaths. These are the paths where people walk. They can also use new sand to make benches. These are seats that people can sit on in parks or other places. Using new sand for building means that less new material is needed. It also means that less ash goes to the landfill. This helps to save space at the Semakau landfill. Using new sand is a good example of turning waste into a resource. Instead of just throwing the ash away, it becomes a material for building. This is part of Singapore's plan to create less waste and use materials again and again. They are also looking at other types of waste, like food waste, to find new uses for them. These new ideas are important steps for the future of waste management in Singapore. 7. The world's trash problem. Every year, the world makes a lot of trash. It is more than 2 billion tons. This is a very big number. By the year 2050, the world will make even more trash. Maybe 3.4 billion tons every year. This growing amount of trash is a big problem for everyone. Trash comes from many places. It comes from our homes. It comes from shops and offices. It also comes from factories and building sites. Even hospitals make special trash. People in different countries make different amounts of trash. Countries with more money make much more trash per person. Rich countries have only a small part of the world's people, about 16%, but they make a big part of the world's trash, about 34%. Poor countries have more people, about 9%, but they make only 5% of the trash. For more than 20 years, China took trash from many rich countries. Countries like the United States and the United Kingdom sent their trash there. But in 2018, China stopped. They said they needed to protect their own environment and people's health. After China stopped, other countries in Asia also had problems with too much trash. Countries like the Philippines and Malaysia started sending trash back to the rich countries it came from. This showed how big the world's trash problem is. Managing trash is not easy or cheap. It costs a lot of money to collect trash and process it safely. Governments need money, rules, and people to check everything is done correctly. If not, trash can hurt the environment and make people sick. It is a complex job. So the world's trash problem is growing. It is different in different places, but it affects everyone. Finding good ways to manage waste is a big challenge for all countries. 8. Everyone must help. We have learned about how Singapore manages its trash. The country uses modern technology like special plants that burn waste and make electricity. It also built a unique island just for the ash that is left. These systems are very important. But technology and big systems are not enough to solve the problem of trash. Every person must help. It is important for everyone to think about the waste they make every day. Each person makes trash. If we all make less trash, the total amount of trash will be much smaller. We need to change how we think about things we use. Many people buy things and then throw them away very quickly. This is called a throwaway culture. We need to stop this. We can help by using less. For example, use your own bag for shopping instead of taking a new plastic one. We can also reuse things. Maybe a glass jar can become a place to keep pens, and we can recycle. This means taking old paper, plastic, or glass and making new things from them. Companies also have a role. They can try to use less material when they make products. They can also make products that are easier to recycle or that last longer. But the biggest change starts with us. The journey to have less trash begins with each person. When we reduce how much we use, reuse things we already have, and recycle what we cannot reuse, we help a lot. Everyone working together, doing small things every day, can make a big difference for the world and for the future.